Well played. Well played. I've got to hand it to well played. It was written for John Cena to win. It's his last year. There's a documentary of his last year. He wins the Royal Rumble. He goes to WrestleMania. He wins WrestleMania, and then that's his good send off. So even as I was, and literally as I was watching, I was like, this is obvious. But I actually said in my mind that really good writing would be if they get Uso to win. So basically, so let me just say, see, I've been out of wrestling for ages. Like the last time I was in wrestling was the WCW Attitude Era. So after the Attitude Era, I've been dipping in that spot. I officially left wrestling after the Attitude Era, pretty much like the peak of Rock and Stone Cold. So I don't know whether Jey Uso has the juice, because see, good writing for wrestling is you need a really good hero, a really good villain. So I'm going to be aging myself. So for instance, I think it was Ravishing Rick Rude. They made him win, I think it was the Intercontinental Championship. This guy was despicable. But because he was a really good heel, you want that guy to win. Or for instance, one of the greatest heels, Macho Man or Ric Flair. So for Uso, as I was watching it, I was like, okay, I've been out of wrestling for a long time, but already I'm like, because I've seen a bit of him before, but there's a vibe you get about someone. I'm like, well, this guy has a pretty good vibe. I want to just see how the crowd is responding. I can already tell that, okay, he's a fan favorite. So when you have two fan favorites in there, you now know that basically what really good writing is, the guys that really get to win the champions and everything are wrestlers that fans have a strong emotion towards. So that could either be a really good hero or a really despicable villain. So really good writing is sometimes the villain wins and they win it in nasty ways. But you have two fan favorites here. But I just thought that, okay, you're going to do the obvious thing. But really good writing is Uso to win. Because that is what will be unlikely to win. Because it was so scripted and so obvious for John Cena to win, because you're like, because in my mind was that, are you really not going to let John Cena win his last Royal Rumble and go to his last WrestleMania? How's it going to work out? Because this is his very last year. So, and also, Uso doesn't really have the kind of a legacy that Cena has. But I thought that really good writing is same thing with like a really good script or story. Shock people, surprise people. I was like, if this guy somehow gets Uso to win, that'd be pretty good writing. So look, for me, when I was like, what? He won? So look, man. So now I'm like, so does he fight Cody Rhodes in WrestleMania? Because I know WrestleMania is in March. So I think Cody Rhodes is the champion, so he fights him. So I don't know whether he fights Cody Rhodes in March. But look, whatever the case, boom. Because, like, I'll be real with you, most of these wrestlers I just don't like. And, like, they seem too clean cuts, too bland, like the Seth Rollins guy or Roman Reigns. But the Uso twins, they look cool. They have a cool aura about them, and look, and they're from an amazing bloodline. So already I'm like, okay, this guy's actually pretty cool. And I'm like, yeah, both of them are pretty cool guys. And then I just found out they're the sons of Rikishi. That was my era. Like when Rikishi was around, that's when I was, because he was late 90s Attitude Era, because he was like late 90s, early 2000s, but he was right in the midst of the Attitude Era. So Rikishi was when I was fully into wrestling, 100% into wrestling, like watching it every single time. But like, so to see that this is like his case, I'm like, wow, I'm old, you know. But look, man, I just think that's great writing. That is great writing there in, because I did not expect them. I did not expect, because it was so, it seemed so placed for John Cena to win, specifically because that's what says a lot. It's a great move, because I'm like, it's his last year. Of course, he's going to win Royal Rumble, because they'd want to give him that kind of send off, him being his last year. So the fact that it's what everybody was expecting, and that did not happen, I'm like, wow, okay, that's good. Because again, I told you, the times when, let's say, like, because obviously I was like a big Rock guy. Whenever like The Rock would get screwed over or something, I would be so pissed. And this is when I was young, when I thought it was real. Because what I always say about wrestling is, when you thought it was real, wrestling was the greatest thing of all time. Greater than football, greater than any movies. Wrestling was the greatest thing in existence when you thought it was real. Because it's like, It's Shakespeare, it's live theater, it's athleticism, it's ballet, it's drama, it's tragedy, and it's all real. Best thing ever. But even when you know it's not real, you can still admire just the spectacle and the theater and the amazing thing of it. But look, man, no, those are a pretty good Royal Rumble, man. But yeah, Uso, man. Hey, Uso. Nice one. But yeah, you know, will this bring me back into wrestling? I don't know. I'll follow Uso's storyline and Cody Rhodes because I think he's Goldust's cousin. I think I know he's Dusty Rhodes' son, but I think he's cousins with Goldust, which was my era. But look, we'll see. But yeah, Uso, man. Nice one, bro. Nice one.